How's it going, everybody? It is Friday, June 24th, and I finally have some progress to report. I know it's been about a week since they started on the siding here, and the whole back main part of the house, the dormer still needs to get done, and some trim off to the side there. The back of the house is sided. I'm waiting for painters to come and do their thing. Some boots on all those air vents and some lights to hang, and yeah, it's looking good. We spent some real time trying to decide how to tackle all this, how to make it look right, and you know where the ends of these courses were all going to start and stop, and some of them were contentious decisions, but it matters to me. We do have an apron on everything to match what was going on with the brick, just to remain consistent. And now you can finally see what the trim detail actually is. It's like it used to be on the house, with the sill and the thin flat stock and that kind of decorative trim mitered up and around with an apron underneath. I think it turns out pretty nice. All of the windows getting the same treatment all the way around. And most often we were able to kind of land at the apron with a course and at the header with a course. Even on the doors, we kind of fudged it a little bit there. Your average Joe is never going to tell. I see it, but I'm happier than having a like weird thin piece as an alternative. So when it all gets painted out, it's kind of splotchy because some of this sat around for a while and got kind of mildewed. So it's lightened up already. It's cedar. It's primed on all sides. So, and it's got the rain screen behind it, so it's going to stay nice and dry. The addition is all sided as well. So here's the back. Same deal. It's landing nicely. So the aprons couldn't land exactly the same here because our skirt board is not at the same dimension as it is on the main house. We wanted to scale everything down back here for the addition. So that changed the coursing a little bit, and so our apron's kind of in between, but it's not a sliver. I decided that was fine. It actually lands directly on the sill, and we almost just left it apronless on the addition, but then at the last minute I had second thoughts and decided let's just keep them all the same. And I'm the only one that's gonna ever notice that it's like that. It's like that over here as well. Again, it's a pretty private part of the property. It's kind of plain up here, but I imagine that we'll try to grow something tall between these and on the corners. Maybe just the corners, something trellis or something, I don't know. We'll do something decorative out here to dress it up. It's a little plain. And it's going to be pretty much this kind of off-white color. This is the plan, is the addition stays kind of the trim color everywhere, and the body of the house gets the golden yellow color. So I think this turned out fantastic. I do like slight second thoughts on making that just a little bit wider, and actually we kind of could, even if we just, I don't know. I think it's fine. Paint it all white, it's gonna go away. But it's much taller out here than I had envisioned it. So if this frieze came down a little bit further, that wouldn't have bothered me at all. But I'm not gonna do things twice. The next time I side this, I hope I never have to, with the rain screen and the drying and the cedar, and I hope we just, you know, paint it every few years and call it a day. But can't wait to see those get cut off, they get trimmed off, and then the little balustrade across the top. Maybe that'll bring the scale that I'm looking for, because it'll stick up another 18 inches and essentially be a part of the frieze. So that might do what I need it to do aesthetically. The front isn't done yet, but that's, well, the beginning of the week will be the dormer for the siders, and then they'll come out front and get all the backer blocking, the flat sections in so that they can side. But it's been a crazy mad week inside. Ciders have been on kind of cruise control. I haven't been even really paying attention to them. But there's been tons of stuff going on inside. Finally got all the insulation done, all the Intello up. So, a ton of taping, a ton of foaming in the corners. Each of these bays get taped off until at least it's in contact with the blue board, and then I foamed all the corners to just prevent large gapping and nesting opportunities for any insects or anything, because this stuff, this blown in is like a cellulose wool cotton. I don't know what it's really made out of, but it is not bug proof. But we sprayed and we got the rock wool on the outside, and I just wanted to make sure. So we're closing up all the gaps there, taped everything off. I even had some extra, we had soundproofing insulation upstairs. I'll show you that in a minute, but we had some extra 2x6. I don't know why they brought so much. So I just did soundproofing between the family room and here. I know it'll have an opening, but no big deal. And obviously we've got blue board. We've got tons of blue board here and here and in there. So we'll have board on the walls in, I don't know, a few days, next week. Still have more insulation to use as soundproofing. This rock wool is what we use for soundproofing. That I think the candidates are. Leave a comment down below. What do you think? Should I be wrapping the pipes? There's a tub here. There's a toilet here. So should I be like stuffing around those pipes? This is a closet, so I don't care in here. But the end of that, this corner, everywhere that, you know, those big pipes are coming through, I could kind of stuff around there and knock the noise down. I know the PVC pipes can be noisy, but here is our soundproofing insulation. So basically what we did is we made the office upstairs. You can see it's a lot darker all of a sudden because this dark color on the wall. We soundproofed the office. It's super dark in here, so we're definitely gonna have to paint it nice and bright now that it's all closed in. But it's a tight room. It's I don't know, probably 8 by 10, but it's just an office. It's a desk and a chair and some bookshelves probably. So it's all in and gonna be nice and quiet in there. And it's funny. The joke is that we're soundproofing against Liz. She is so loud on her call. She's laughing all the time. They have a good time at work and on these calls. I always think that I gotta whisper and you know, walk on eggshells. But yeah, she's the one that makes the noise. So this will be for us as much as anything. So we had a bunch of this. They delivered a ton of the rock wool, and the guys are like, "Hey, you paid for it. You can do whatever you want." I told them to leave it since I paid for it, and I soundproofed the rest of the master suite. So we'll get a little peace and relaxation as the boys are making a ruckus upstairs, I'm sure. And then even, so this is as far as Will's room above us kind of comes out. And I did the ceiling in here as well. So we're pretty well isolated from all the garbage now. I ran out, so I didn't do any of this stuff, but really it's a extra drop ceiling in here. Plus it's a closet, and so there'll be clothes in here to knock noise down. And then this is the bathroom. It's gonna be lots of hard surfaces, lots of echoey. It's gonna be noisy in here anyway. But that's another reason why we did the ceiling up here. And this is all insulated. So this will help, hopefully, keep the sound from traveling through the bays this way when somebody's in here showering, getting ready in the morning, doing whatever, hair dryer, you name it, and somebody else might be still trying to sleep. Now, we're not gonna have a door here or anything. It's just it's literally going to be a suite, kind of like a hotel suite, right, with open kind of concept, but at least there's some separation here with the closet. And now we have the noise dampening. We did the same thing up top and put insulation blocking the transfer between the office and here. So like when the shower is going, hopefully it's not going to be like a waterfall in the other room. What else can I point out? Same insulation details, foaming around the windows. They're all officially kind of foamed in. I got to pick the excess out still up here, but more blue board, plaster. Apparently this this stuff is for the floors as they're plastering, so that they don't make a mess of the floors, which I genuinely appreciate. More blue board in here, and you can see Ollie's room, and you can see the soundproofing that I did for one bay over to make sure that it's truly isolated, because he's a noisy one. This actually is probably preventing him from being heard on the calls, if he's playing in his room or whatever. But third floor, kind of the same deal. It's all official, all tightened up. You can see tons of board up here, tons more on that side. So we're ready. Hopefully they're coming next week. More plaster up here. I guess they're gonna mix in place. Kind of makes sense. They're gonna have to haul buckets of water up here. I just was out digging a path, not literally digging, but plowing a path through with the hose and a pump to get to the old spring house in the woods, and the spring well back there, and was pumping, and indeed we have water. So I'm gonna get a big IBC tote, like a 250, 300 gallon tote to stick in the yard, so that everybody has water until we get power and water at the house, which is hopefully rapidly approaching. What else? Last thing, if I sound if I sound out of breath, it's because I've been going all day and really all week to get the house to this point where I'm actually comfortable closing the walls in. There's just so many details behind all walls. I'm actually not comfortable yet, so this weekend I have to get these two pocket doors and the pocket door in the other room. I gotta get them done. I gotta get them hung, even if they're not perfect. Gotta get them in so that I know how it all works and I can hang them again when the time comes. I got the right hardware in. I think I've shown the soft close hardware before. And so now it's just time to get the doors in, make sure everything is gonna play nice. So earlier on this week, Wednesday, they did a blower door test. And so what that basically is they took this door off the hinge. They put a tarp basically with a fan in the middle, a big fan in the door, and sealed all the windows up, closed everything else up, closed the bulkhead in the basement and the basement door, and then they turned the fan on and try to simulate. I think it's supposed to be 50. It's not miles per hour wind. It's a pressure, so it's like, I don't know. It's like pascals, or that doesn't sound right. 50 units of pressure they pump through, and I think it's equivalent to like a driving wind on a stormy night. So like 20, 25 mile an hour winds. All right, so, and they're blowing air out. They're sucking, so the air is trying to get in, and then they're also blowing air in. So like they do two separate tests. And mine got virtually identical numbers. The house got virtually identical numbers in and out, which is not surprising given the windows that we chose. The triple paned, locking, everything's latched super tight with rubber gaskets. So it performed almost identically going in and out. and that was kind of vindication on the windows we chose and the path we went. So for a blower door test, a really good number, or a typical number, a code number, right? So like certain states now, I think Massachusetts is picking this up. There's a minimum code of 3 air changes per hour, ACH 50 air changes per hour at 50 units of pressure. So 3 complete air changes is a lot of volume in this house, and it's actually pretty leaky. Older houses would have had a lot higher than 3. That's why 3 is kind of like the benchmark, the standard. For a high-performance house, you're looking for something under 1 air change per hour, less than 1. So the lower the number, the better the score. In this case, it's like golf. So I was hoping for something under 1 as a final product. And with us in the States, so I had not taped all of this stuff. I had not yet foamed. I had not foamed the windows. In fact, some of the windows down here are still not foamed. The family room, these here, have to get foamed. So this was before any of that happened, and there's still more to do this weekend, but we got a 0.8 air changes per hour on the with the force from the outside, so low pressure inside, high pressure outside, so like wind-driven rain, and a 0.85 when it was flipped. So it's basically the same, and both numbers are sub 1. So that's good. Now we're kind of in striking distance, and I think once all the drywall goes up, or the plaster now, plaster has a much denser finish, and so it prevents air leakage even better than drywall does. So that's a big bonus. That's also one of the reasons why we went with plaster versus drywall. Second, all the additional air sealing that I've been doing this week, yesterday and today, has gone a long way to getting that even tighter. And I think we're going to get a passive house marking. That was not really our goal, but now it's in striking distance here, and I think we can get it. So I'm going to spend the rest of the weekend detailing everything that I possibly can, because if we get passive house, which is 0.6, we're 0.2 of a air change per hour away, we get to passive house certification, that will have implications for like tax write-offs and Energy Star ratings and a whole bunch of other things. And like, not that we'll ever sell, but it should impact our value when the house appraises as well, because we'll be Energy Star certified, passive house, and there's inherent value to that. People are paying more for houses that are built tight like this and have ventilated mechanicals to keep it healthy and mildew and mold free, and all natural insulation and no formaldehyde and like all the things that we've tried to do here. There's definitely value in that, and maybe I'm a little crazy, but I'm not the only one. That's kind of what I keep coming back to, and I drive myself crazy about these things, but you know what? The results are speaking for themselves here, and I'm really quite pleased. You see all the tons and tons of detail. I had to wrap every one of these boxes so that the green thing comes on, and then this foam seals to the back of the blue board, has an extra air sealing, but like there's no air moving in this house. So that's very good. Very, very good. That means that our mechanical ventilation, fresh air in, exhaust coming out. We moved this, by the way. I've been saying we needed to move this. We need to move this. I finally did move this out as far as we could go. And so that should give us better spacing between the cabinet, which will land just about, my guess is right about where that strapping is. And then we got to get doors to open above it too. So it gets cut off flush, or just about flush. It'll look like a little hockey puck, but I just want to get away from it. Yeah, we put a lot of time and energy into it. Taping the seams at the bottom, taping the seams of the Intello, taping a picture frame around every window here. Foaming in between where it was going to pull away. All of those little spots. Each little bay. As you see up above, it's been no joke. I'm going to tape around the doors still. They were still getting foamed, so there's more to do. But it's going to be there. I think we're going to make the Passive House certification, and that's now become the goal. Anyway, this was a long one, but it was a long week and a productive one, and I'm super, super excited. I can't wait. I think next week they should have this hung, and I'll give you a tour of what the house really feels like when you can't look through all the way. You'll look at real rooms one at a time for the first time. It'll probably get a lot darker, but before we get the plaster on there, and then that shiny plaster will brighten things up again. Anyway, hope everybody's doing great. If there's something specific you want to see, leave a comment. I'm kind of slowly but surely getting subscribers here and lots of views. I don't know if people have noticed, but some of my videos have had thousands of views, so I'm kind of blown away by that. I'm doing this really just intending to communicate with friends and family about our crazy project here. But if other people outside from friends and family are enjoying the story here, hey, I'm glad to have you. So leave a comment. Let me know if you're not friend or family, but you're just enjoying the content. And let me know what you want me to talk about too. As things get rolling here, I can do specific videos about you know, the kitchen and finishes in here. By the way, that's coming along, and should have cabinets here by the end of the summer. And yeah, hope everybody's doing good, and talk to you next time.